First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel. Today's lesson, we're going to go into the famine of the word. Got a couple precepts and an article. I'm sure a lot of you brothers have already heard about this or seen videos about it. But those of you that haven't, basically what's going on is net neutrality is going to end on April 23rd, which is less than 2 months from now. I'll read into what it is, but it's basically they're just going to block out the content of the word, man. You know, they're doing it on a wide scale, and they're going to make everything cost money, like different programs cost money, like different apps and websites cost money to access, and Google searches and stuff like that. But you know, that's just to blind you from the fact that they're literally just going to cut off the truth. You know, they're going to shut down channels, erase videos. They're just going to completely erase the digital footprint that the men of the Lord have put, especially on YouTube. Okay? It's official. The FCC has voted to end net neutrality on April 23rd. While they voted last December to repeal President Barack Obama's net neutrality ruling, the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, have officially published their vote in the Federal Register, with neutrality ending April 23rd, 2018. So what net neutrality is basically you can roam the internet for free. You know, you just pay for Wi-Fi from the internet provider or whatever, you know, and you just access Google, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, you know, whatever, your email. But now it's all going to cost money. It's going to be separate packages, man. And most jakes don't have money like that, you know, because we're tight as it is. We don't want to be spending more money. I mean, it's a famine of the word that's already been beginning, because brothers' videos are getting taken down, and sometimes they don't allow them to post. You know, they've already been messing with us. You know, it's just a matter of time before they fully put it into effect on the internet. And then once that happens, there's just going to be brothers on the street. So then they're going to wipe out those brothers on the street with martial law when that comes. You know, because all it takes is one big false flag and martial law can get enabled all over. You've already seen these school shootings all over the place. There's been like over 20 plus school shootings, and we're not even done with February, and that's just for so-called 2018. You know, so Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is definitely speeding up these prophecies, man, which is what we want. We don't want to be here much longer. You know, but we're going to be patient and diligent and continue to push in this truth. But obviously, we don't want to be here any longer than we have to. You know, so Lord willing, the end is soon. I mean, it's definitely picking up. People are starting to realize that Yahweh isn't joking around anymore. But it's nowhere near what it will be soon. All right. Additionally, this vote is momentous as it ushers in the next phase of the fight over the future of the internet, now permitting internet service providers, ISPs, to block, impede, or charge more for certain content they deem appropriate. See, they deem appropriate. They don't deem this truth appropriate. They hate this truth. They don't want this on there. That's mainly why they're doing this. And because they're money hungry. But we know they're going to crash the dollar and bring out that chip, the mark of the beast. But we know that their main focus is to take away this truth. So covering it up in this net neutrality is a perfect way for them to cut this truth off the internet. All right. Consequently, consumers will now notice a difference in how websites similar to Netflix and Facebook operate, such as slow connection, this compared to the sites of smaller businesses. Furthermore, The deregulation allows companies like AT&T and Verizon to not only slow down sites, but also block apps and even charge content companies extra fees for priority access to consumer screens. So they can block, they can completely remove websites. You know, I know there's websites that brothers use to for precepts to find information to read. They'll cut those off. YouTube channels, they'll cut those off. Instagram profiles, you follow them for updates on the news, they'll cut that off probably. Because they don't want you to know what's going on, man. They want you to be blinded. So that's about all I really need from this precept, or I mean, Salakia, this article. So April 23rd, that's when it's going to be in full effect. This is Amos chapter 8, verse 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. There is going to be a famine, as in no food and water, but this precept specifically is talking about the words of the Lord, which is our spiritual bread, if you want to say that, which will come most likely before the real famine. Verse 12, and they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So that's talking about when it's complete, when there isn't any prophets on the street corners or anywhere, and when there's no internet truth being spread by anybody. People are gonna see all these calamities coming upon the world, America, which is Babylon specifically, seeing all these terrible things, and they're gonna be looking for answers. They're gonna be looking for the prophets that they passed, not caring what they were saying, thinking that there's some bums on the street. Now they're looking for those so-called bums that they claim us to be. They make fun of us for how we look with our clothing, and like we have no jobs, we're hobos. Well, those hobos were telling you the truth about what's about to happen. And now you're looking for it and you can't find it because we're gone, man. We're taking shelter because we knew that this was coming. We just like I could use Noah for example. He built an ark. Nobody listened to him until it started raining, really, and by then it was too late. That's the same with now, man. You think Noah was just gonna build that ark and then continue to stay out in the rain, so he could tell you what's going on? No, he was gonna get out of there to avoid death, man. That's the smart thing to do. All right. And I said that there was gonna be famines. Yeah. Of course, there's gonna be a lot. There's a lot of precepts about famine. Oh, this is a good one. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 verse 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? That's what you're going to be asking. A lot of you are going to be asking, what am I going to do when these come? Or no, you'll be asking in those times, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? How am I going to survive? Nobody's going to be able to answer that question for you because you didn't listen. You're supposed to keep your ears open, man, when the prophets are speaking. If you pass by them, then, you basically just decided for yourself, ultimately. It's predestined who's going to make it and who's not. But basically, at the end of the day, you pass by those prophets with an open ear and you blocked it out. You didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to deal with what they were saying, so the Lord ain't dealing with you in those days, so you're going to get killed, man. That's why it's important to listen. There's a lot of precepts of the famine. There's a lot of these. I'll do this one. This is an important one. Matthew chapter 24, verse 7. For a nation shall rise against a nation, and there's 18 nations, I'm pretty sure, in the Bible. Nation is specifically, if you know, the people. So races, if you want to put it like that. We don't go off skin tone though; it's off the spirit. You know, through father's lineage or seed. So it'll be Israel, just all the, you know, for example, the nations: Ishmael, Moab, Edom, Israel, which I know I said first, but I was just, you know, all these nations. You know, you can look into the nations. There's charts that brothers have of all the 18 nations, but the point is people against people, like race wars, you know. So like Israel versus, you know, whoever, you know, but specifically be Israel versus Edom here in Babylon, because you know they're mostly like that's the primary people here in America, which would make sense because this is Esau's world right now, and specifically this is his kingdom. So, and kingdom against kingdom, which is World War III, you know, which is coming quick, and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places, or diverse places. Slack. But earthquakes, that's already been happening. Everybody knows about these earthquakes that are coming up. And people always try to brush these things off like, you know, like, oh, well, you know, it's just that type of season. No, man. So you're telling me it's that type of season? Like this is an ordinary thing for all these things to be happening at the same time? People just want to deny it, man. People want to, you know, going into the famine of the word, everybody, you know, wants to, you know, I don't want to hear the truth. It's depressing. It's sad. You know, it's a vibe killer. You know, etc. Turning off their TVs, basically turning off their ears, and you know they don't want to hear it. But when that day comes and all this stuff, you know, all hell breaks loose, you're gonna want to hear it. You're gonna regret doing that, and you're gonna regret not listening to the prophets, man. All right. So with that said, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of Israel. Keep pushing, keep enduring, strive till the end. You know, we're almost out of here. You know, do the work, all right? Put in all these videos and go outside on the highways and byways or the street that you're on, you know, and preach. All right, talking about the men, because the women, you women shouldn't be preaching, prophesying. That's not your lot. All right, that's not your job. You know, but these you know, the men of the Lord need to be pushing out this word and getting right, man. Making sure that everybody's hearing it, because you got to put in these videos and everything before this famine of the word comes, and specifically, everybody that's in this truth can be watching a lot of videos. Now, don't overdo it to the point where that's all you do, because, you know, scriptures talk about don't overstudy, basically. Don't overread, you know. So have balance, but make sure that you're doing more than what you're doing, because now is not a time to be lacking, man. You get caught lacking now, you're going to get killed. You're going to get jacked up, man. You don't want that. So, you know, just stay focused. Keep pushing, because we're really right at the end of this thing. All right, you know, the day of the Lord comes as a thief in the night. All right, and by thief in the night, it doesn't mean there's going to be a big warning before it comes necessarily. Thief in the night means it's going to be quick. You know, things are going to just happen out of nowhere. You know, it's going to catch a lot of people by surprise. But if you're paying attention to the signs and the times, then you won't be fooled by that, and you'll know what's about to come. All right, so with that said, Shalom.